Arguably one of the greatest pieces of art ever seen. Well, I want to say that. I would say more arguably one of the best pieces of art out there. And the main reason for that is because this art is a reflection of us. Now, the title of this video is What Does This Art Say About You? Now, I don't want to get too philosopher, not to be too um, confusing, but to be more precise, this portrait is about the viewer. This is just my take on it in general. Um, Simply put, this is the artist of the painting, and I think this is the most important piece of the painting. Mainly when he's toward the center of the screen. And the main reason I say that is because I feel like this painting is it's about artist. It's about creation. And the reason why it's been speaking to me in such volumes is because everything about the artist painting in the painting that he painted. It's the real symbol of artistic and creativity. This portrait encapsulates a very interesting position of his hand, which makes the brush in his hand look almost intertwined. You can see that, symbolizing how an artist is basically one with their art when creating art. And I feel like you as an artist, me as an artist, we all can agree in cadence with how everything about art involves every piece of ourselves, not just creative, emotionally, mentally, physically. It takes a toll. This reflection here is more signaling that again, this is just my opinion on this portrait because obviously this is the most one of the most debated portraits of all time. Uh, my more feeling about it is that you could be royalty, and everybody in this painting, except girl here, her, and her, is looking at you. Even the reflection of the king and queen are looking at you. Painter's looking at you. She's looking at you. She's looking dead at you. He's even looking at you. So I do feel like this portrait is definitely about the viewer and what the viewer could potentially become. Since this artwork was um, such a masterpiece, it kind of opened up a window, and I think that's what we see here of what you could potentially be. And I think the reason why I say that is because this is obviously a reflection. And, it's easy to say it's a painting, but these are paintings here, right? These even paintings on the wall, none of them are lit up in the way of the sun almost reflecting out of here. The glass would reflect and make it a little bit shinier here. So this is a reflection here. And the king and the queen, why would they be reflected in this light? It's not a window. It's this is a reflection. So I think the whole main point of this being in the middle of the painting the way it is and everybody looking at you is to signify that you could be royalty. And not in royalty in the sense of, oh, I'm better than others, but in a sense of, hey, you can be great. That's what I feel like this portrait is about, especially because of the painter being in the frame, painting the frame while staring at the viewer. Because he did exactly that. He was awarded, I'm not too sure what the name of this was, but he was awarded this, which is basically the highest level of an artist in his time after he painted this. And it showed how far he kind of came with his work because he made such a masterpiece in this portrait. He also put himself on the same level as the king and the queen. Usually not something that somebody does in this day and time. And I feel like the king and queen being here is a hint to what I've been saying of, hey, you can be great. And it's reflecting what the viewer could be. Because if a reflection was reflecting the king and queen here, you would obviously see the rest of the room, but you just see a black fainted out image. So I think this is reflecting of what the king and queen could be and what the viewer could be ultimately. Because if you, as a viewer, got to this level of mastery, you could become great. I don't know much about this painter, but after seeing this paint work, it made me very interested in him and what he has to bring and what he has to offer as an artist. He is for sure royalty when it comes to art. And that's why I feel like this speaks so much to the aspect of us as people who love art and want to pursue art and put a lot of time into art because ultimately this is a reflection of what you could be. That's how I view it. If you guys have any other way or any other theories on what you think this art is about, I would love to hear it. You know what I'm saying? It's my first video, so I'm just starting off, getting comfortable, getting my feet wet with it. So you guys let me know what y'all think. But yes, masterpiece, 10 out of 10. I think this is about us and who we are and what our potential is. You know, another thing is everybody's looking at you like you're about to do something. It's a very like it's almost like when I look at this painting, I get the feeling of I almost get anxious because it's like everybody's looking at me like, what are you gonna do? Right? It's it gives me the stare of like, oh, is he gonna you know what I'm saying? It's not like a regular stare you would get in a portrait of them just looking at you, gazing at you. They're more looking at you as if like intent is about to happen, action is about to happen, right? Like they're anticipating something. It kind of almost seems like he's painting you, but we come to figure out he's not painting the viewer because these are the colors used in this painting. And this is the actual size of what the portrait is, which is actually a massive portrait, right? This painting is actually just about this big. It's a massive painting. Um, but yeah, I feel like it. When I look at this painting, ultimately the feeling I get is, hey, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna become great? And that might just be my mind working against itself because I'm like, this is one of the greatest pieces I've ever seen. And it almost makes me question to why I can't do it. or why I can't be great myself, right? And that's how I get from it. It's not I'm trying to compare myself or anything like that. It's more like this level of greatness is like acquirable, right? You can be this good. Why aren't you? And I love it because the mirror just it signifies what you could be. In this time and place, I feel like he articulated a king and queen as the viewer reflecting back. And the reason I say that is because it's just like in this time him pitting the king and queen would just be a way of saying royalty. And it's a reflection. So the reflection is your royalty. But even that, based on their expressions, I feel like you can become royalty. It's almost kind of putting it in the air that you can become royalty and you can become great, but only if you, and that's up to you to answer. Like that's how I get from it. That's my personal um, viewpoint of this because everybody has a different viewpoint of this. But yeah, this is one of my favorite pieces of art, and I love it. Symbolizing what you could do, what you could be. It's more about your own potential and how great you're able to become than anything else, realistically.